2 Samuel chapter 13. And it happened after these things, that there was to Absalom, son of David, a sister, good to the sight exceedingly, and her name was Tamar. And Amnon, son of David, loved her. And Amnon was afflicted so as to be ill over Tamar his sister, for she was a virgin, and it was an enormous thing in the eyes of Amnon to do anything to her. And there was a companion to Amnon, and his name was Jonadab, son of Shemaiah, the brother of David. And Jonadab was exceedingly practical. And he said to him, "What is it to you that thus you are weak, morning by morning, O son of the king? Will you not report it to me?" And Amnon said to him, "Tamar, the sister of my brother Absalom, I love." And Jonadab said to him, "Go to bed in your bed, and be as infirm, and your father will enter to see you, and you shall say to him, Let indeed Tamar my sister come, and feed me, and let her make food before my eyes, so that I should see, and should eat from out of her hand." And Amnon went to bed, and became as ill. And the king entered to see him. And Amnon said to the king, "Let indeed Tamar my sister come to me, and let her bake 2 biscuits before my eyes, and I will eat from out of her hand." And David sent for Tamar to the house, saying, "Go indeed to the house of Amnon your brother, and make food for him." And Tamar went to the house of Amnon her brother, and with him being in bed, that she took the dough, and mixed it, and made biscuits before his eyes, and baked the biscuits. And she took the frying pan, and emptied it before him, and he did not want to eat. And Amnon said, "Lead out every man from about me." And they led out every man about him. And Amnon said to Tamar, "Carry in to me the food to the bedroom, and I shall eat from out of your hand." And Tamar took the biscuits which she made, and carried them to Amnon her brother into the bedroom. And she brought to him to eat. And he took hold of her, and said to her, "Come, go to bed with me, my sister." And she said to him, "No, O my brother, you should not abase me, for it shall not be done so in Israel. You should not do this folly. And I, where shall I carry away my scorn? And you will be as one of the foolish in Israel. And now speak indeed to the king, for in no way will he restrain me from you." And Amnon did not want to hear her voice, and he powered over her, and abased her, and went to bed with her. And Amnon detested her with an exceedingly great hatred, for so great was the hatred which he detested her, that it was above the love which he loved her. And Amnon said to her, "Rise up and go." And Tamar said to him that, "Great is the last evil over the first which you do with me, to send me away." And Amnon wanted not to hearken to her voice. And he called his servant set over his house, and said to him, "Send indeed this one from me outside, and lock the door after her." And upon her was an inner garment with long sleeves, for thus the daughters of the king dressed, the virgins, the ones with their outer garments. And his minister led her outside, and locked the door after her. And Tamar took ashes, and put them upon her head, and the inner garment with long sleeves upon her she tore, and she put her hands upon her head, and went going and crying out. And Absalom her brother said to her, "Has Amnon your brother been with you? And now, my sister, be silent, for he is your brother. Do not put it to your heart to say anything." And Tamar sat expiring in the house of Absalom her brother. And King David heard all these words, and was enraged exceedingly. And Absalom did not speak with Amnon from bad or good, for Absalom detested Amnon, for which he abased Tamar his sister. And it came to pass after 2 whole years of days that they were shearing for Absalom in Baal-hazor by Ephraim. And Absalom called all the sons of the king. And Absalom came to the king and said, "Behold, indeed, your bondman shears. Let indeed the king go and his servants with your bondman." And the king said to Absalom, "No, indeed, O my son, in no way should we all go ourselves, and in no way should we be burdensome upon you." And Absalom constrained him. And the king did not want to go, but he blessed him. And Absalom said, "And if not, let Amnon my brother go indeed with us." And the king said to him, "Why should he go with you?" And Absalom constrained him, and he sent with him Amnon and all the sons of the king. And Absalom gave charge to his servants, saying, "Behold, whenever the heart of Amnon feels good with the wine, and I should say to you, 'Strike Amnon and put him to death,' you should not fear, for is it not I giving charge to you? Be manly and become as sons of power." And the servants of Absalom did to Amnon as he gave charge to them. And all the sons of the king rose up, and each mounted upon his mule and fled. And it came to pass, of their being in the way, that the report came to David, saying, "Absalom struck all the sons of the king, and did not leave behind from them not even one." And the king rose up, and tore his clothes, and laid upon the ground. And all his servants standing around him tore their clothes. And Jonadab, son of Shemaiah, brother of David, answered and said, "Let not my master the king say that all the boys of the sons of the king he put to death, but only Amnon alone died, for by the mouth of Absalom it was situated to be from the day of which he abased Tamar his sister. And now, let not my master the king put the matter upon his heart, saying that all the sons of the king died, for only Amnon alone died." And Absalom ran away. And the servant watchman lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, there were many people going in the way behind him from out of the side of the mountain. And Jonadab said to the king, "Behold, the sons of the king are at hand. According to the word of your bondman, thus it has happened." And it came to pass when he completed speaking that, behold, the sons of the king came, and lifted up their voice and wept. And indeed the king and all his servants wept, an exceedingly great weeping. And Absalom ran away, and went to Talmai, son of Ammihud, king of Geshur. And the king mourned over his son all the days. And Absalom fled, and went forth unto Geshur, and was there 3 years. And the spirit of King David abated to go forth unto Absalom, for he was comforted concerning Amnon that he died.